What is going on, everybody? Welcome back, Dudes Who Bet Daily. June 22nd, 2023. Happy NBA Draft Day, boys. I know you are not nearly as excited about this, but I think today is going to be a phenomenally fun NBA Draft Day because of the combination of how, this isn't a wonderful draft class. The top three are very good, but there's 7 or 8 wings that all are going to be rotation or better players in the top 15. So you've got a bunch of teams that want to trade up, and the new CBA, which means a bunch of teams want to trade out of contracts, that I think is going to make tonight absolutely fascinating. Aaron, do you want me to just start going into my draft thing, or do you want to comment on this stuff?
It's going to be lit. It's going to be absolutely lit. I've got a big watch party planned. No, I don't. Go ahead, though. Yeah, you go ahead and do your thing.
Scoot Henderson is going to be a first-team All-NBA guard in 5 years. He is that good. Right now, it's him or Brandon Miller for the second pick. Scoot Henderson, I would take as a second pick. You can get him plus 250 in some places because of all the Miller buzz that happened yesterday. There are 5 teams that are reportedly trying to trade up for Scoot Henderson. I don't see how he doesn't end up being the number 2 overall pick, and you're seeing the market move back to him too. So Brandon Miller was minus 700 at one point yesterday to go second. He is now minus anywhere from 200 to 300. So you're seeing that shift happen after Woj tweeted out that, hey, the Hornets are interested in Brandon Miller. And the ripple effects of this is going to be interesting because reportedly New Orleans has Zion on the table for the number 2 pick. Paul George is on the table for the number 2 pick. OG Anunoby is on the table for the number 2 pick. And if it is Brandon Miller at 2 and the Hornets decide to go that direction, if Portland drafts Scoot Henderson, which they really should, then Dame Lillard's tenure in Portland is over. He has already said so much that he wants out. So the ripple effects from what happens tonight, I think, are going to be wildly interesting. And Magic, you got your Clippers jersey on. They're trying to trade everybody right now. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there as well.
Well, what are the odds on, was it Wembanyama is minus 20,000 right now to go first overall? Could you just do a stone cold parlay, the top 3 picks, and maybe with your plus money on Scoot, maybe that's palatable? Is it plus 152?
I may have sent that to some people already. And that is, right now, I think you can get right around plus 300 for Wembanyama 1, Scoot 2, Brandon Miller 3. I don't see any world where they don't go 1, 2, 3. It's just the question of the order between 2 and 3. So I don't dislike that idea either, to put Wembanyama at 1, Scoot at 2, and Miller at 3, because they are the best 3 players in this draft. It's just when you watch Scoot Henderson is a better version of Ja Morant, who only wants to play basketball and loves being in the gym. I mean, that's the easiest comp for him. He is going to be phenomenal in the NBA. So I'm excited to see what happens tonight, where everybody goes. That'll be the end of my NBA draft rant because I know you guys don't give a shit about this. But it's going to be fun.
I do have a question, though.
Yeah.
Where can we watch Scoot Henderson play, or where could we have watched Scoot Henderson? I've never heard of this guy.
So he was at Overtime Elite instead of going to college. He's 20 years old, so 3 years younger than Ja Morant. And he's 6'2", 200, just all muscle. Mm-hmm. And the kid can get to the rim at will. And he's a very good passer. He can finish around trees. His biggest weakness is his shot. But if you have a guy who just loves to play basketball, he's going to have a shot because there's no mechanical issues. He'll have a very good shot in the next 3 years. And if he hits threes at 35 to 40%, he'll be the best guard in the NBA. That's the upside here. And that's why I'm really interested in Scoot Henderson. I'll probably be buying a couple of his rookie cards when they come out next year as well as an investment, because I think he is that good. And he inarguably would have been the number 1 player last year in the draft, would be the number 1 player next year in the draft. The difference is Brandon Miller is 6'9" and a wing who can shoot. That's what everyone wants. So you have to decide, do you take the less dynamic position or the more dynamic player? And that's where you have the juxtaposition and the issue of which way they're going to go.
So is this the trend now, the 2 people that you're really clamoring for, they're not college players. Are there any in the top 5 here that actually played in college last year, or is this kind of the new route that everybody's kind of taking, these lottery pick type players?
Brendan Miller will probably be the only top 5 pick that played college. I would assume you're going to. Well, Wembanyama's going 1, Scoot's going top 3, and then the Thompson twins, Essar and Ammon, are going to be 4 and 5 most likely. Yeah. If not, they'll see another college player sneak up to 5. But Cam Whitmore had a really bad workout earlier this week, so he's falling out of that 5th spot. We'll see what happens. But 4 of the top 5 prospects according to the mass majority of people,
Right.
did not play in college last year.
See, because that's and obviously my weakest sport, as far as I don't follow it very much, is basketball. And the Miller kid, obviously, you'd heard of, some for not good reasons. A lot of time during the season, we're talking about these other guys. Like, I was scratching my head, like, who are these people? So yeah, I just wanted to get an idea of, okay, yeah, the one and done rule, we've got that. You know what? I'm not even going to mess with college. I'll just go do this other thing here where I don't have to worry about school and still get drafted. So that's interesting that they've already found a way around what the NCAA tried to do.
Well, and like Overtime Elite, I mean, Wembanyama's team in France was specifically started so he could play on it to prepare him for the NBA. Overtime Elite is going to have 3 people drafted out of it. Like, there are clearly groups, or Overtime Elite is going to have there, and Ignite, the G League Ignite team is where Scoot was. Overtime Elite was where the Thompson twins were. They're teams that are built around really helping these prospects become NBA players. And you don't see as much of those top guys going to college because they're making decisions for their future. As in, like, hey, when we went to college, we went to prepare ourselves for our future, which was not going to be in basketball. They're now preparing their future in basketball by playing basketball at semi-professional, professional level.
It's just really, it's that aspect of is very fascinating to me. Obviously, much easier doing basketball. It's like, hey, we got a group of about 8-9 guys. Let's start a team. Let's do this, and okay, here we go. Right. So you're not going to see that as much, I don't think, in the other sports. But yeah, basketball, they have pretty much stated to the NCAA many times through their actions of, we don't need to go to school, right? No. This college thing for basketball is kind of ridiculous. So that's interesting. I was looking up these guys as you were talking, and the kid going number 1 sounds like a freak. So it's going to be cool. All right, I'll watch it now, Somich. I'm with you.
He is supposedly the best draft prospect in NBA history. He is I think he's 7'5" center. He might be 7'6". He might be actually taller than that. Who literally can handle like a guard. He shoots threes at like 35%. Yeah. And if you go watch some of his highlights, I mean, he misses a 3 and has a follow-up rebound dunk. As in, the ball doesn't touch the ground. He misses the 3 short, gets it off the rim, and dunks it over a guy. Like, he is transcendent from a franchise perspective. And like I said, the team in France, they actually started the team for him and then signed NBA type guards and wings who were younger, so he could specifically have slashing guards, attacking guards, or shooting guards, more of an NBA style team versus a French style team. So it's really fascinating how he has been built up and come up. And Tony Parker is one of the guys that he modeled himself after when he was, I think, 11 or 12. He and Tony Parker became friends, famously drafted by the Spurs, a French guy. Like, there's a ton of really cool storylines that follow through him here as well.
Wow, that's cool. I still probably won't watch it, but I'll look up and make sure you cash your bets tonight.
Yeah. I'm excited. I think it's going to be just a fun day. You already have Kristaps Porzingis getting traded to the Celtics last night. I mean, you have Middleton opting out up at the Bucks so that he could try and sign a multi-year deal because he didn't want to be a free agent the first year this new CBA goes into motion. Like, the NBA is going to be really interesting over the summer because there's going to be a lot of teams that need to adjust their position to try and step forward. Mm-hmm. So that was our NBA draft talk. Surprised it took 8.5 minutes. Thanks for the questions there, Aaron. All right, let's jump into
Hey, a good co-host is prepared to make his other co-host shine, and that's exactly what I did there.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Magic's got the Clippers jerseys on just so that he can he can help
Magic
out
just
there.
Sat down there like an asshole. So,
well, if you ever stop talking long enough to take a breath, maybe I could have said something. I don't know.
What would you like to say about the NBA draft, Magic?
I don't like this Wembanyama kid. Every time you get a 7-something whatever superstar center, what happens? He plays like 2 seasons and blows out all of his knees, and he's useless again. No. Great. Besides, it's a terrible name. Scoot Henderson. That's a name I can get behind. Give me Scoot Henderson all day.
I will agree with that.
Well, Magic, if you want to try and make that actionable, Wembanyama is minus 350 to win the NBA Rookie of the Year right now. You've got Scoot Henderson, you've got Brandon Miller, and you've got Chet Holmgren for Oklahoma City, who did not play a single game, who is eligible to be Rookie of the Year this year as well, and is going to be in the best franchise of those 3 players as well, or 4 players as well. So I don't hate the Henderson, the Chet Holmgren look if you want to try and play Rookie of the Year. And I know, Aaron, you love you some Oklahoma City basketball. That wouldn't be a bad ticket to have.
No, I'd like that.
Yeah, a lot of fun there. All right. Well, that's a good question. We don't know if we haven't seen. I think he lasted 10 minutes in the summer league, and that's to Magic's point. some of these big, lanky, skinny guys, not always the best people to take in the NBA draft. Scoot Henderson, 6'2", powerful guard who can get to the hole at will. He's a good one to take. All right, let's jump into baseball here. D-backs, -155, going in to take on the Nats. Total sitting at 9.5. Interesting spot here for the D-backs, so let's talk about that a little bit first. This is a makeup game for them, so they rained this game out from June 8th. They were in Milwaukee last night. They fly to take on the Nationals tonight. Tomorrow, they are in, I think it's San Diego or Seattle. They're flying all the way across the country to take them on. I'm going to probably fade the Nats on travel tomorrow, at least take the under in the first 5. I'm sorry, fade the Diamondbacks on travel tomorrow, or take the under in the first 5 there. Magic, what do you like here?
Yeah, San Francisco. You had the right region. You knew it was like somewhere over on the far west.
Yeah. That's all that mattered for his handicap.
Yeah. East to west. The travel is what matters. I don't really care who they're playing.
I don't know if you have the first 5 over number on that, but I feel like that might be the way to go. You got a couple of shaky starters coming in here. Tommy Henry, his game on June 6th, he gave up a grand slam in the first inning and a solo homer in the 5th. And then Jake Irvin is going to be the national starter. Washington has lost 6 consecutive games that Jake Irvin has started. That's not good. So that tells me over first 5 might really be the way to go. 9.5 feels like at some point the teams are going to get tired of beating the hell out of the ball and will probably slow down. But if we learned anything from our buddy Sandy Alcantara yesterday, all it takes is 1 inning to just completely drop a deuce on your on your under bets. It just takes 1 inning. So yeah, I'd go first 5 over.
Yeah, I felt like every hit he gave up was all in that second inning. I think it was right after.
Yep.
Like he got through the first. He's looking great. Shelled.
Stud for 6 innings. That second inning, though, man.
Yeah, he once after that inning was over, he settled right down and just mowed him down.
Yep, but the damage was done.
Yeah.
Over is 5.5 in the first half, Magic. So other people agreeing with you to spike it up there.
Do it.
I kind of like the Diamondbacks here, but first 5, so you can get close. So if you go first 5 minus a half run with the Diamondbacks here, you can get a good price on them. The other route you could take, so first 5 minus a half is -110. You could also go -1.5 for the full game here and get -105. I like I kind of like both, to be honest with you. So if I would say decide how you want to play that, because I do think, ironically, they have an edge with the starter, even though it's Henry. But however, they have an edge in the bullpen too. I think that they're the better team here. I think they get the job done today. Aaron, what do you like?
Well, the good news is this is about 45 minutes away from opening pitch, I believe. So, yeah, I'll be out on the deck watching this one as well as a few other ones. I put the Diamondbacks in an early parlay. It's funny how you and I both try to create, plus money situations or close to plus money situations with teams like this. Because, look, you like them. They're -155. But it's like, okay, I still like the Diamondbacks a lot in this situation. I do, mostly because what Magic said. I mean, Irvin, not great for the Nationals. So it's like, all right, I can't just, they're not the right price, so I'll pass them. It's like, how do I create value? So I put them in a parlay. I think the Diamondbacks get it done. You mentioned that series. They go to San Francisco, tough spot for them tomorrow. But, boy, Arizona and San Francisco, what a series that's going to be. The Giants are playing great, too. But, anyway, we'll talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah, Giants ripped off 11 straight, going for 12 straight today against the Padres.
Yep.
What a transition. Let's talk about it, guys. Padres -135. Blake Snell on the mound here. Total sitting at 8.5. And before we jump into our caps, let's get into Papa Dude's best bet of the day. He's going to go ahead and take the Giants +108 to make it 12 in a row against Blake Snell tonight. Going to be an interesting spot. I have a bet from this game as well. Magic, we'll start with you. What do you like?
Ooh, you know what? I kind of like the under 8.5 on this spot. Blake Snell, his last 4 starts has been almost unhittable. He's 25 last 4 games, 25 innings, 39 strikeouts, just 10 hits and 1 run. 12 strikeouts in each of his last 2 outings. One of those was against the Tampa Bay Rays, so a very strong team to be striking out 12 against. He also has a 3-1 record against the Giants with a 2.51 ERA. On the other side, you've got Alex Wood will be getting the call for San Francisco. They're looking at playing the bullpen a lot, is what the manager said. So I think it'll be kind of a low-scoring game. I think 8.5, especially when San Francisco beat them 4-2 yesterday, and now you've got a better pitcher coming in here in Blake Snell. For the Padres, I kind of like under 8.5.
Yeah, I played the under first half, under 4.5. You mentioned Blake Snell. I mean, if you look at his monthly splits, had a 5.3 ERA in April, at a 3.82 ERA in May, and a 0.47 ERA so far here in June. So I like the under 4.5 first half. I would also look at strikeout props on Blake Snell. He struck out 12 in his last 2 games. The Giants are the 6th best hitting team versus a lefty in the majors, but do strike out close to 25% of the time against lefties. So I think he probably gets a couple Ks today as well. Aaron, what are you doing here?
I'm with my dad. I'm on the side of the Giants here a little bit. And this is a couple things, right? We always talk about, look, when you have the Giants and they're plus money, right now you're probably going to bet them, right? And it's just like they were plus money last night. They won. They were I think they were right close to plus money in the first game of the series. They won. And so we always talk about, look, teams sometimes are overvalued based on the expectations of how good that team is to start the season versus what they actually are. And right now, we know what the Padres are. We've played enough games to know they're not as good as what everybody thought, but that line has not adjusted. So, look, the Snell situation, I say this a lot. He has been fantastic. There's no way for me to argue about what you said. Those are stats, and they're good stats. However, does he regress to the mean a little bit today is kind of my thing. And if he does, are the Giants good enough to beat the Padres? Yeah, they definitely are. So I took the plus money on the Giants. Would not be shocked either way. This has been a pretty tight series. So, if the Padres win, wouldn't be shocked, but it's just one of those games. I'm getting the Giants at home plus money against a team they're better than. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah, Alex Wood dominated the Dodgers last time. 5 innings, 3 hits, 4 Ks, no earned. So he's pitching well as well for San Francisco. And it feels like this Giants organization just has these streaks sometimes. Like they're not, when you look at it on paper, they're not that good. But somehow they are that good right now. And so you just have to kind of roll with it sometimes. And I would, if I was going to bet it, I would probably bet the Padres, but I'd never try to catch a falling knife in Major League Baseball. Like if teams are hot, don't try and predict when they're going to lose the streak because, man, it is tough. And you get a lot of people putting money against the team on those winning streaks. And it means that you get a better price on the team that are on the winning streaks as well. So really interesting situation there. All right, let's head over to Belmont. Race of the day, race number 8, mile and a 16th on the turf, $62,000 optional and 1X allowance here. Favorite going to be all the way on the outside. Big brass bed, 9-5 for Chad Brown, but he's got another in here, the 4-horse Root Cause, which IRAD's going to be aboard. Aaron, we'll start with you. Who do you like?
I like number 4, Root Cause. I think he's going to bounce back today after, not that great of effort at Churchill Downs. One thing I've kind of learned over the years, the races at Churchill Downs, kind of take them with a grain of salt. That track just plays different than any of the other normal tracks that these horses run at. And so, you look at the 2 races before that Churchill dud, been just fine, ran very well. First off the layoff at Gulfstream, going a mile and an eighth, looked really good, then came back here, like I said, at Churchill, and look, just got pressed. It was a really hot pace and just kind of fell apart. I don't really know why this filly was up kind of close to the lead like that, though. This is not really what she likes to do. I think she's back on a normal course here. I think she just kind of stalks and pounds, and IRAD gets back aboard. I think that's a good sign as well. So I'll take the number 4 Root Cause here. I think she bounces back after a bad effort there at Churchill.
Yeah, I think that Root Cause is a huge shot here. That's one of the 2 Chad Browns I like more. I'm in between 2 horses on top here, so I'm going to take the bigger price. Give me the 5 Life, Love, and Laughter here for Michael Trombetta. It seems like this is your speed of the speed. Coral, who's the 6th horse, probably is not going to go. If you look at the race at the going a mile and 16th over the Aqueduct turf, plus this one's going to be inside speed. Second off a layoff here for this 3-year-old daughter Lemon Drop Kid. We kind of feels like we have a situation where it's Jose and Irad controlling the pace, and one of the 2 of them win the race because of that. So I'll take the 5. I'll take the 5 Life, Love, and Laughter. Magic, who you got?
I did the same thing you did, Somich. I went with the 5 because of the speed angle, but I went 5-4 here. I think the 4 is incredibly talented. Aaron, you might remember her older sister, Vertical Oak, 7-time stakes winner for Asmussen. So plenty of family history of success on the dam side, and of course by Intermission. So I would go 5-4 here. Wouldn't surprise me if it comes across 4-5 though, because how often does Jose seem to set it up for Irad? Just happens.
It seems like it's those 2. I do like the 2 horse a little bit at a big time price here, 15-1. Tearing my heart out here. It's Jose Cameo who ships this one in. I thought it ran well in the 2 and 3 races back. Didn't run great last time against 3-year-olds and up at Monmouth. I wouldn't be shocked if you get above above average effort there. And then Doc mentions the one Stephanie's Charm 12-1 for Jose Jimenez here. A bunch of graded stakes, bunch of very good horses. Mrs. Joy, Cairo Concert twice that this one faced. Now getting second off a layoff. Aaron, any interest in either of them?
Yeah, this is a tough one because I really kind of like the one, but just like, man, just haven't shown a ton. But we do get that class relief, and I think that could be big. So I don't know. Like, I thought this horse coming from out of it, if it gets kind of speedy, had a shot. But to me, I liked your pick of the 5. I like the 4. I'm kind of skeptical if anybody else is good enough in this spot.
And no, so 8, any interest at all, Magic? Or are you letting that Chad Brown beat you?
I'll let that one beat me. Usually I look at it and say, well, first of all, Peter Brandt's had this horse and didn't start the career with Chad Brown, it was with Lisa Lewis. Then he moved the horse to Chad Brown, and we debuted for Brown, we debuted at Monmouth. It's usually not the spot you want to play a horse coming first time versus winners. Now we're over on the NYRA circuit.
Yeah, and the next out winner got a 75 buyer, which means that basically ran the same race and won next time at that level, which doesn't make me feel a ton better. If that's an 80, 82 buy or something like that, then you're like, okay, they took a big step forward. This was a good horse. It kind of just ran the same race, but beat those horses at Monmouth again. So we'll see what we get out of the 8. Aaron, what do you want to comment on there?
Well, I was saying, I'm shocked that this horse is the morning line favorite. I don't think this horse will actually go off favored. At 9-5, I certainly would not play the horse. If this is like a 5-1 type, it's like, okay. I mean, I don't love it, but it's like, yeah, it's still a Chad Brown horse. Maybe we'll see second out with Chad improvement, stuff like that. But I was really shocked that this horse was the morning line favorite. I mean, it's not going to be a total shock. It's Chad Brown on the turf at NYRA. I mean, yeah, the horse can win, but I don't know. I was pretty skeptical.
Yeah, it's a buyer favorite. Well, best last out buyer, best buyer of anyone in the field with the 78. I mean, that's really in my mind the only reason, because it's Manny Franco. It's not IRAD. IRAD's on root cause, and generally that's going to be where the better Chad Brown is, right? So I think it was just simply because that 78 is the best last out buyer and second time Chad Brown. But I agree with you. I think that price is too short, taking on significantly tougher here, first time against winners.
Yep.
All right, jump into the best bets of the day. I'll kick it off. Magic and I go into similar styles of bets here. I'm going to go with the first 5 under. Give me the Guardians and the A's under 5 for the first 5 here. It is JP Sears Day, Magic. Congratulations. We know you love some Sears action. He'll be on the hill taking on Logan Allen, 2 left-handed pitchers against 2 teams that are bottom 10 in the majors, hitting against left-handed pitchers in a ballpark where the wind is blowing in and it's going to be a little bit chilly. Oh, by the way, it's the A's and Guardians offenses. Let's go under 4.5 here, first 5. I think this one's looking pretty good. Magic, you took it under first half as well here.
No, I didn't. You messed it up. Phillies under 4.5 for the team total is what I have here. Atlanta's on a 5-game win streak, and 4 of the last 5, they've allowed 3 runs or fewer during that stretch. They've got a team ERA of 3.74, so I think this is something that the bullpen's been very strong. I think this is something that's going to hold throughout. Oh, no, by the way, we're putting Bryce Elder on the mound for the Braves. 2.60 ERA, 5th among all starters in Major League Baseball. 2 earned runs or fewer in 10 of his 14 starts this year. The June was a little rough for him. He's been up and down, but he did a great job against the Rockies last time out. He's 24 years old. He got a nice little confidence booster against a shitty team in the Rockies. And now we go face the struggling Phillies. So yeah, Phillies under 4.5 team total for the game.
Yeah, next time you play a team total, you got to put TT or team total or something. Keep me, you're trying to keep me on my toes here, Magic. All right, Aaron, best bet of the day. What dog you like?
All you wanted to do was talk about the NBA draft, so that's very clear. You don't care anymore. So, all right. Look, it's funny how baseball works sometimes, or how betting works. Not just baseball, but a team you fade and you fade and you fade because they're just overvalued. That was the Red Sox, and then they go to Minnesota and they've been undervalued all 4 games. So I'm 2-1 with the Red Sox. I bet them all 3 times in this series after not betting them all year. So I'll bet them one more time here. Plus 148 today. Joe Ryan on the mound for the Twins. He's okay. He's nothing special, but he's not terrible. I think the Red Sox are this number because they're having a bullpen game, as we now call it. Let me give you a little information about the bullpen games. I think when people see that, it does scare them. I wouldn't be all that scared. Now, if the opposing pitcher is fantastic, then okay, be a little bit nervous. But if the opposing pitcher's just run of the mill, go ahead and take that bullpen game. We saw it with the Giants last night. They played a bullpen or pitched a bullpen game against Yu Darvish. It's like, well, yeah, but Darvish isn't very good. So if they get a few runs, they're going to be right in the game when the bullpens come into the game anyway, right? So that's kind of the thing. Look for these. And I'm taking Boston today. I'm not scared, like I said, of the bullpen. I think they get it done. I think they're just better than Minnesota as well. I'm not a fan of anybody in the AL Central. I don't think Boston is a great team, but they are properly priced for the 4th straight day. So I will take them once again tonight at a decent number.
Yeah, I passed on this one. I looked at Minnesota first 5, decided not to do it. You mentioned Ryan on the mound. Boston, the number 3 team in the majors, hitting against righties. Not bad. And Minnesota has a tendency to just not score runs ever, which can be really frustrating when you bet on them. So don't hate the plus money here, plus 148 on Boston. Now, since I had my little diatribe at the start, Magic, I'll let you close it out here. What would you like to talk about today?
The fact that the Magic Mike Show will be live at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific today, covering Thistledown's late pick 5, a tradition unlike any other. We're covering the Ohio Derby card at Thistledown.
Yeah, Magic Mike Ohio Derby, definitely more of a tradition than the Masters. All right, let's go to the best bets of the day here, and we will wrap this puppy up. Pretty interesting. We're up $1 for the year, guys.
Really good.
We can get one spicy chicken sandwich with dill pickles from McDonald's right now. We're going to take the A's, Guardians, first 5, under 4.5. Aaron on the Red Sox, plus 148. Papa Dude taking the Giants, plus 108. Magic, Phillies, team total, under 4.5 there. 0-2 for the week because the Braves rained out yesterday. Up $1 for the year. Thanks for joining us today. Enjoy the NBA drafts. We will see you later. We'll be live all day on this channel, so make sure you just stay tuned here. And we'll be back same time, same place tomorrow to talk about Scoot Henderson going number 2. Have a good day, everybody.
Scoot, scoot.
And good luck with all your bets.